Okay, so I'm going to give a brief intro into like what I'm looking at when I start a campaign. I'm going to do it on hard. Hard isn't much different to normal really, at least not as far as the starting conditions. Hard really starts to affect things after maybe 15 turns or so. I don't really think it affects much the early game, so it doesn't matter whether I'm playing on hard or normal. Very hard it is different, because I think the starting army you fight is a lot stronger and you need to be more careful, maybe recruit more units. But anyway, so I'm going to skip there's going to be an intro explanation thing by the advisor. It's good to listen to once, or anytime I play a race I haven't played, or a starting position I haven't had before. I always listen to it because he gives me a good explanation of like who's around me and what threats are, and it just helps me develop a plan. But I'm going to skip that for now because I'm sure you've seen it already. This is really important that you read every single time you play, even if you've played a race which you played before, just to remind you, because it gives you an idea of the sorts of things you want to be doing, what benefits are for your faction, right? Because everyone has benefits and they're going to play to their strengths, so you need to know what your ones are. So Wurrzag himself has big buffs for his savage orcs, and he can have loads of them because of the low cost to keeping them there. They also got high charge bonus, so any savage orc unit, even archers, are actually going to be somewhat okay in melee in the early to mid game because of this charge bonus. So yeah, really the theme here is savage orcs. Now whenever you start a campaign, I'm not sure if you get these in co-op, but in single player you get a quest which says occupy, loot, raise or sack 3 different settlements sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's other quests, but anyway, this one's that one. 2,000 gold is quite a lot, you know. Our income, you know, that's 2 turns worth of gold, and this will buy you a bunch of units or a new building or whatever, so it's not a bad thing to look at. So 3 settlements. Anyway, so when you start off, you should really zoom out and have a look at where you are on the map, but we know already, I guess. And then look around you, sort of thing. Who's around you? Once you've figured that out, zoom in on your capital and have a look at what you've got and where you're positioned. So this is an interesting capital because it's surrounded by mountains, pretty safe. The capitals typically are quite safe. There's a few that are in the open, but anyway, this one's pretty good. Anyone that attacks you, you can kind of attack from behind and wipe them out, and they can't really escape. So when you start a campaign, you want to be thinking about what's your first priority. And your first priority is almost always complete your province. Now I just want to say, you don't always want to complete your provinces. I mean, some provinces are really, the cities are spread out too far and it's a bit hard to maintain all of them. But your starting province is pretty much always one that you want to take over completely. So let's see where they are. Bitstone mines here, Dragonhorn mines here, and Stone Mine Towers. Okay, it's up there. Alright, so that's what we want to do. Now, we happen to be at war with all the factions controlling them, so these dudes and these dudes, so that's good. Don't have to worry about declaring war on people that we don't want to declare war on. You can see those red swords also indicate some at war with the border princes and the dwarves, which are up in the north somewhere. You can probably make peace with the border princes, but just be aware that unless you do, you should expect raiding parties to come across the river every now and again. So anyway, first priority, capturing this. So how do you want to do it? Well, we could go underground to take over Stone Mine Tower, but we don't know if there's a garrison there because it's in the dark. This is free, and this has an army. Now, I'm going to go with... Oh, before I continue, actually, one important thing. If you click on ownership here, you can see, you know, the land coloured in, which is pretty handy. But the other thing you want to do is climate suitability. I won't go too much into it, but essentially green is perfect. These are the types of settlements you want to be capturing. Yellow, you can capture without that many penalties, but they probably won't make you that much money. But they're okay if you want to capture them. Red you pretty much shouldn't take unless you really, really need an outpost there or a fortress there. But you're going to need to station an army there the whole time because you're going to have public order problems and you won't really be able to recruit units in red zones. So yellow is if you want, but you'll have to manage it, and green is pretty much okay. Okay, so first thing you want to do, what have you got? You got decent line units. You got 1 elite unit with the Orc Boar Boys, shock cavalry, and 1 super unit, which is the giant. Excellent. You also have an agent. So what I like to do is I like to use the agent either on the settlement, on the army, or on another agent if there was one, and start getting him XP straight away. Even if he fails, he'll still do something. Now, where do I want to attack? I won't attack on the first turn. I want to reinforce something. I'll try to go for the top one, see what happens. I'm guessing he's going to react to that and move his army top. Press R here to speed it up. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't have done that because I'm not even researching anything. That was stupid. Oh well. Still, I got him experience, so he's level 2 now. Lovely. So, do I want to make him a battle character, or do I want to make him a campaign map character? Let's go with battle character, just because I said so. Now, before you end your turn, you want to look at your base. This symbol here, landmark, this is unique to that settlement. So this is a special one because it's the Savage Orc homeland, this particular city. Other times it's food or some other special building. But anyway, I don't know if I don't want to upgrade this, apart from the fact that I don't have money. It's going to take 3 turns, it's going to cost 3,000 gold, and it's going to give me these dudes, which are alright, but in the time that I wait for this to finish and then recruit them, I could have already just gone to war, sort of thing. So I'm not going to waste my money on that. Here I could get goblins and orc boys. Okay, goblins are not going to be that handy right now, but yeah, they're alright. Orc boys as well. 1,000 gold, it'll take 1 turn, that's good. This will take 2 turns, but I'll get wolf riders. Oh, 1 second. I'm actually typing to you. Sorry. I'm saying sorry, but you're doing this. Okay. So I could go for this one. It's affordable and it will give me standard troops. I could go for the wolf den, which is going to give me cavalry to catch. I happen to know that they have cavalry. These annoying wolf riders which kite me into the end of time, really irritating. Or I could go for one of the infrastructure buildings. Now, my personal preference is, well, actually, I'll explain what each of them do. This one's obviously raising obedience, so you'll have less public order issues. This one is giving you growth and healing your army, and this one's giving you money, as you can see on the left. Now, the thing with this one is, it's okay. It's actually not bad. 200 income at this stage of the game it's good, right? But it costs 650, which means you need to wait basically over 3 turns until you actually get until you start making a profit out of this thing. So do I want to really invest at this stage? Not quite. At this stage I still need an army, and I need to spend all the money I have to actually secure my area. So I wouldn't really suggest getting this one unless you're going to be playing like a turtle style, more passive. So it's really between these two. And I personally don't mind a rebellion in the early turns because it gives my army a chance to just get more experience and it gives me an extra battle. So I'm not going to get this one either. I'm going to go for the growth. The reason I don't want to go for this one is because, frankly, I'm happy with the Savage Orcs. I don't think I care much for... I'm not going to get to tier 4 or tier 3 for a while, and I don't really care much for these units when I can already get Savage Orcs. So, I could get this one as well, but nah, I'm going to go for the growth. That's my personal preference. Plus, with growth, with the casualty replenishment, after these big battles I'm going to have taking over this province, I'm just going to heal my army quicker so I can keep moving. So it's all about momentum, and I feel like growth is giving me a bit more momentum, but also you know, economically helping me get to the later tiers. Right, so that's how I decided on the building. Typically it's going to be growth, but it's not always the answer to go for growth. Really depends. So if I'm recruiting, okay, so if he, well, whatever happens, when I go into the battle here, I'm going to merge this goblin unit with my army and then attack. And I think even if he moves up with that army, I can still win. So let's give that a try. I'll speed up. And there it is, he's moving up. Okay. Some other random orcs, but I'm not at war with them, so I don't need to. I don't want to make more enemies at this stage, not just yet. Okay. So that's completed now. I have the money to upgrade these, but I think I'll hold off for the moment. Because the idea is, if I can take this settlement now, this is part of my province, I can take it, right, heal whatever losses I took, and recruit on the same turn, because this is part of that settlement. This is part of that province, sorry. So I'm going to merge this guy with my army. Just, you want to make a habit of checking your diplomacy quite often, just to see if there's anything changed. Although you do get an events, I haven't got any events this. Oh, here it is, events. Okay, you want to check this all the time. Really important, because this is where you're going to see if someone breaks their alliance with you, or breaks peace with you, or declares war, and so on. So you want to be checking this out. Otherwise, you're going to. I've lost games because I haven't seen it.
Eh?
Eh?
What?
I'm just recording a YouTube video.
Why?
Because I'm teaching.
Teaching what?
Total War.
Hmm. Why don't you stream?
I can stream. I can stream and record at the same time. But
yeah,
I'm recording on higher quality though. So if I stream it, it gets messed up. I can record on higher quality than I can stream, right? So
yeah, that's true.
So yeah.
But is it necessary that it's been?
Yeah, because I want to put it on YouTube. I don't want to have it on Twitch. On Twitch, I delete my history thing because it's not really made for. I don't really want people going there. Plus, I think the past streams on histories actually delete themselves after 2 weeks. Isn't that right? Pretty sure. Anyway, so let me just finish because I'm going to be another few minutes there. So if you want, you can stick around and hear me talk. But if you could be quiet, that would be great.
Okay.
I can't hear.
Wait, can I smoke, or is that too loud already?
Do not smoke. Don't smoke anyway. I don't like it when you do that. Even when we're playing, dude, I hate that shit. I already told Alex if he could mute himself. I don't complain when he forgets, but I think he tries to remember as much as possible. But it really is annoying. That vaping noise is super annoying, to be honest.
Alright.
Alright.
You hear that? That's like the muting sound.
Yeah, I can hear the muting sound, but I don't care about the muting sound. I care about the smoking sound. Right. So, yeah, you check your diplomacy, check your money, always check your money. And at this point, so I merged him, and I'm going to go see if I can attack. Okay, so I would always play this battle, but I think it's going to be a win. This shows you the battlefield, what it will be like. Doesn't matter. What the result? Lost some units. If I'd played it, I would have lost more than nothing. Okay, money. So if ever you start running low on money, you might want to think about maybe just winning battles. Even if you're not taking settlements or raiding, a battle itself will give you money. Choices here. Don't raise it because you actually want this. You only really raise it if you're capturing territory that's like in bad climate, or you're trying to wreck another faction without actually taking more ground. Otherwise, you want to do these three. Now, this is good money, but even though this, I mean, it's really a choice between these two because you want the settlement, but at the same time, this here will give you a little bit of a boost in terms of money. it will screw up the public order. But like I said, I don't care about having rebellions early on because I'll just kill them, and that gives me more experience and actually more money when I kill them, right? Because you win the battle. So it's really a choice between these two. I mean, I'm going to go with Occupy in this case, although I think in my own campaign I would loot and Occupy. But that's that. So you can already see public order dropping. It will be 10 turns until that modifier there, that minus... it'll be 3 turns until that -3 modifier disappears. And now, because I'm still in the same province as this one, I can actually recruit units. Actually, in this building has... in this settlement actually has this building, so I didn't even need to make it in my original place, which is good. But I want savage orcs, not the goblins. Well, I'll make one goblin, fuck it. After this turn, I'm probably going to march down. So try to think ahead of what you're doing, and don't spend money unless you really need to. Like, it might look like I have money and I have, I'm going to have 4,700 next time, but you never know what you'll have to do. Might need to make a lord and recruit some units, for example. Just buy what you need. And right now I don't need these guys, and I definitely don't need this tiny upgrade. So he's probably just going to garrison and brace himself for when I attack him. Yep. Events. Okay, so he gained a rank. So I can't reach him in turn 1, in one turn, so I'll just move as close as I can and do what I did in the first thing. Let me just read this. Expendable. Okay. So goblins, actually, they've been buffed because they used to be... Like, the problem with goblins was they were easy to rout, and that would make the entire army rout. But now they've given them an expendable trait, which means if goblins rout, they don't affect the morale of orcs, basically. So that's pretty good. So they're basically a good meat shield. I'm going to make some. But I still want DPS, so I'll make a few savage orcs as well. Alright, and remember the assassin, or not the shaman rather, I want to get him as much experience as I can, so just do stuff. I don't want to steal technology, that's pointless. Hinder replenishment. Succeeded, leveled up, great. Let's give him something else. What's this? Hex. Hex. Let's give them... What's this? No, give him that. Okay. Oh, and he leveled up as well. Just give him that. Always good for this blue one when you get to level 2. Good. Leave it as it is. Again, spare money, but that's a good thing. I used to be the player that always buys... Like, I always spend all my money. I'm used to RTSs, right? Where you don't float, spend everything you have. But in this game, you actually want to have a sort of a treasury, because if you you can't react to stuff if you don't have money. If you need to raise an army on the other side of the world, can't do it if you've been spending all your money on infrastructure. So it's good to have a little bit of a bank. That doesn't mean I go down to... I mean, I do go down to 0 from time to time, but in general, I'm very careful how I spend my money. Alright, he's dead. So let's merge him and finish him off. Again, occupy. I don't really need 1,000 gold right now. 1,000 isn't very much. Regiments of renown, that's good. If I really need cavalry, I can have some. Although they are weak. Goblin riders are always quite weak. This is good, good. I kind of want to kill these guys off once and for all. But I also want to complete my province. So, I will recruit a lord. keeping all the savage orcs in Wurzag's army, because remember, he's the one that has minus 50% upkeep, and he's giving huge buff to savage orcs, so there's no point giving... If Wurzag's nearby, there's no point giving his savage orcs to another army. But I gave this one a giant, because I don't know what's over here, and if there's a largish army, then the giant will help. How's diplomacy going? Not very good. I expect these guys to want to make peace soon, because I'm getting stronger. Strength 21, strength 51. Oh, and the other thing you want to do when you look at diplomacy is look at this. This shows you what's actually affecting whether they like you or not. The aversion just means they don't like you because you're orcs, but everything else is a reason for it. So I've been killing orc tribes which they like, but I apparently trespassed against them, and I'm at war with them, so that's obviously minus a lot of numbers. Anyway. Keep an eye on that public order every turn. And I can upgrade a settlement, which I think I will do. Right, now I'm not making any more money, so I need to be careful. So if I spend 1,600, you know, I'm not going to have very much left just in case, so perhaps it's a good idea not to upgrade anything for now. You should avoid going on march, because if you get attacked, then you're going to be at a huge disadvantage. But I think in this case, I'm okay to... Yeah. He's got no garrison there, so that's going to die quickly. Alright, and with orcs... Okay, so... I'm checking underway and march, because underway sometimes will get you further than march will. For example, if you're moving for a forest, then the underway will get you further. But if you're moving through desert or open terrain, then marching will.
Let's take what should be ours.
But actually I will upgrade, because it looks like I don't need to recruit anything, so I may as well. Which one should I upgrade? This one, this one. I think I will upgrade top one. The AI respects you if you actually get a lot of army and your strength rank goes up. That strength rank is actually quite important when it comes to AI decisions. If you're weak and they like you, then they will never join you, sort of thing. But if you're strong and they like you, then you might even be able to take them over. They might just give their whole empire to you, sort of thing, because they're afraid of you or they respect you, sort of thing. Okay, I mean, again, I would play this one out because you would take less losses that way, but for the purposes of this video, let's just do that. I could have looted and occupied, I could have sacked it as well, but yeah, in this case, nah. He leveled up.
Wurrzag, the great green prophet.
Wurzag's not going to reach on one turn. But you can see here, this is all within my territory, this line here. So what I can do, if I want to recruit and I don't want to waste a turn just moving, because otherwise I'd have to move here, right, do nothing and then move here after. But what I can do is I can just move closer. I'm hoping that reaches. Let's... I can move closer and then I can actually still recruit this turn, so I don't waste it.
Alright then, let's do it.
But now I'm very low on money. Some of these people must be wanting to declare peace on me by now. Still doesn't want to. Next turn surely he will. Hope this video isn't too long. Okay, so this is going to be our last turn. Why? Because I completed this quest of occupying 3 settlements. Got a new one, so he wants me to do 6 now. And I'm about to... oh, okay, he actually does have a big army there. So good thing I actually recruited some stuff. Because if I hadn't recruited, I would have been here in the middle, and I wouldn't have had those extra 3 units, and I probably wouldn't have been able to win. But I am going to be able to win now, even in auto-resolve. Yeah. So see, every turn matters. If I hadn't recruited there, if I hadn't made that extra effort to stay here and recruit, then I wouldn't have won this. Right, now, public order is disastrous. One little kind of cheat that you can do, it's not a cheat, but if you captured a whole province, so these 4 places, then the rebellion will always spawn in the same place. It will always spawn, in this case, it's always spawning here, or something. It's like one of these, this area. So if you know a rebellion is going to happen next turn, then have an army right next to it, you know? Obviously, if I only control Bitterstone Mine, for example, I don't have these other 3 settlements, then the rebellion will be somewhere in this area at random. But the rebellion is pretty much always in the same spot, so you can react accordingly. Right, so we got the province, leveled up our characters, got rid of this faction, and now really the choice is, do I go south and get rid of these, whatever they're called, Top Knots clan, capture this whole area? Do I go east and start getting involved with this these guys, but they have a lot of stuff? Do I go west and punish these guys for not declaring peace on me?
You come bearing arms.
I'll ignore that.
Scumbags. Or do I go north and get rid of these dudes and then also run into the dwarfs? It's not a good idea to really fight the dwarfs early on, unless you kind of know what you're doing. I would stay put for now and just improve what you do have until these guys declare peace, because if you walk away with your army, these guys are going to cross the sea and attack you. And okay, you could recruit more lords and more armies, but how do you know where on the coast they're going to come from? You know, so they could cross here, for example, and then my army is all the way down here, I can't reach them. So I really want to make sure that at least these guys are not thinking of attacking me, and if they are, I'll stay here until they change their mind and just develop what I do have. And as a final tip, just get rid of these. Doesn't matter. Oh, before I say the final tip, obviously I have the whole province now. I'm going to choose here what I want. Let's go with growth and obedience is good. Final 2 tips: if you have if you really don't want public order issues and you have enough money, you can turn off the tax rate. But as you can see, it's only really affecting it by 4. So in this case it's useless, but in other cases it will actually help you a lot. But yeah, one big tip now is you either keep growing your army in order to increase your strength rank diplomatically, so that these dudes feel like they want to make peace with you. So if I get to 17, they're probably going to 17 or 15. They're probably going to want to make peace, because otherwise, you know, they're scared of me attacking them, right? So I either do that, or if I want to make more money and develop as much as possible, I start getting rid of units that I don't need anymore, like that, and then I have more income. Let's merge those. See, 1,000. It would have been 200 otherwise. As a rough guideline, a unit. Oh, I can't actually show you because it's a bit messed up. But the upkeep of a unit is usually 25% of what it costs to recruit it. So that means if you disband the unit, if you know you're not going to use that army unit for 5 turns, then it's worth disbanding, because then that upkeep, you basically saved yourself on the upkeep. But if you plan to recruit it in less than 5 turns, then you might as well just hold on to it, essentially. In this case, actually, it's not quite like that, because Wurrzag has low upkeep for Savage Orcs, so it's even less than what it should be. So in this case, you might as well just keep them. But anyway, yeah, decision at this point is you could either continue attacking, but then you kind of need to know what you're doing. But as a newer player, you should probably just bunker down and try and not for too long, you know, maybe 5 turns, 6 turns, depends on how it goes, but you want to be developing what you have and tier up a little bit, build some more armies, figure out what your neighbors are doing, and then come up with a plan that way. And that's the intro video. If you have any questions, let me know.